Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with nomorenews.org. Thank you for joining me. Today is Monday, January 18th, 2021, and today I'm going to do a thorough investigation and expose on the QAnon 6D chess Zionist disinformation psychological operation Honeytrap. Going to get deep into it, got a lot of information to cover. But first, make sure, if you're not already, bookmark and subscribe to nomorenews.org. You can find all my links and all my latest videos, no matter what platform has been deplatforming me, censoring me. Like DLive recently demonetized, so I'll be dropping the link for donations in the chat if you guys want to support. Also, subscribe on BitChute. If you missed it, very important video, maybe one of the most important videos I've ever done. Warning, top Israeli rabbi says America collapsing, Israel must step up as a new world superpower. It's got 15,000 views on BitChute. Go check that out in case you missed it. And also, everybody, subscribe to me on Trovo now. Trovo is the backup to the backup to the backup, where I will be streaming when DLive bans me, or just DLive is banning a lot of people. We don't want to support people who are companies who are censoring, and they demonetize me, even though I'm against QAnon, I'm against Trump. I didn't have any part in any of these storming the Capitol, but yet I get censored as well. So there's Trovo. But let's get right into this QAnon psychological operation disinfo campaign. I believe, and I think it's very reasonable to suggest, that the storm, quote, the storm that QAnon was hyping for almost 4 years was a form of neuro-linguistic programming, a type of hypnosis, putting the cult followers in a suggestive state. So, and this was all a plan. This was orchestrated, engineered, sat for Trump to Judas Goat lead his so-called MAGA followers off a cliff to sabotage them, to destroy them, all according to plan. Trump is a Judas Goat, Pied Piper, Zionist pawn who led his sheep to the slaughter. Now check this out. I found this clip from 2017, Trump alluding to the storm, and I think we found out what he was referring to.
We will not rest until the horrible and vile ideology of anti-Semitism has been defeated and destroyed.
So this is a clip showing how his agenda, and not by just with his words, but with his actions, executive orders, anti-BDS laws, complete servant of Zion, Zion Don, the Zog Emperor, wants to make anti-Semitism illegal. His Department of Homeland Security labeled so-called white supremacists as the #1 terror threat. Yeah, the white people that have essentially no institutional power compared to the Zionist supremacist and the Jewish supremacist that think they're chosen by God to lead the world. But this was Trump's agenda, so just don't think just to show that he would set up so-called America First. He was never the leader of a real America First. It was all sabotaged.
For this reason, I recently signed an executive order to restrict federal funding to any college or university that spreads, supports, or promotes anti-Semitic prejudice in any form.
Cut funding to any university or public school that allows anti-Semitism in any form, and they go by the anti-Semitism definition that they have at the State Department. It's no criticism at all whatsoever. It actually would be a lot simpler and faster if they would just say what we are allowed to criticize Jews or Israel for, because the list is essentially nothing. There's no legitimate criticism. They find a way to delegitimize all of it. 2017.
You guys know what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
I don't know, maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be.
The calm before the storm, he says. The reporters ask, what's the storm?
The calm before the storm. The calm before the storm.
Playing right into the QAnon narrative. He knew about it all along. He refused to disavow it when he was questioned. In fact, he encouraged it. He knows all about it. His whole network around him was involved with pushing this psyop.
We have the world's great military people.
Now he talks about we have the world's great military people. This is the conspiracy for the QAnon people, that the white hats, the patriots in the government, they're gonna take out the deep state. That's what he's saying. Completely playing into the storm.
I will tell you that.
And who benefited from the storm? Was it Trump supporters, or are they all getting arrested and banned and labeled domestic terrorists? And Congress is passing new Patriot Act laws to target them and put them on lists. It's the ADL and the left and Jews who are benefiting ultimately from all of this. It was a Zionist organized, engineered psyop, and now they're the ones that are benefiting.
And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Give us a hint of your answers.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
We're also joined by...
You'll find out, he says. You'll find out with the storm. Well, consider we just saw a storming of the Capitol that you riled up with you and all of your collaborators. I think we did find out what the storm was.
Thank you very much.
We're also joined by Acting Secretary...
Now, this is Trump in August 2020 at the Council for National Policy meeting. This is the Zionist evangelical Christian hugely influential group.
Secretary of Homeland Security, who's done incredibly, Chad Wolf. Where's Chad?
Trump's CNP-appointed head of the Department of Homeland Security labels white supremacists the top terrorist threat. You still don't think that Trump would set up his so-called base that he thinks are dumb sheep?
Thank you very much, Chad. You're right in the heart of it, and got some big things coming. Very big things.
Got some big things coming. Very big things.
What kind of big things would he know that Homeland Security had coming?
Good job.
That riot was set up by Antifa, by another group called Groyper, which is a right.
Now they're trying to scapegoat Antifa, which there probably was a little bit of presence of Antifa there undercover, but to ignore that this was Ashley Bobbitt, or whatever her name was, she charged in there and got shot. She was a sincere QAnon believer. This QAnon shaman guy seems like he could be a QAnon believer, otherwise just a deep actor. But to ignore their role in all of this and try to blame the Groypers and Nick Fuentes and as anti-Semitic, which, I mean, the Groypers, Baked Alaska was in Pelosi's office. Nick Fuentes was shoulder to shoulder with Alex Jones and Ali Akbar pushing all of these rallies, all of them with very incendiary rhetoric that ultimately led to this.
Right-wing group, but a right-wing group.
And now who's taking the blame for the march? Anti-Semitism. So now the right and the left are blaming the so-called anti-Semites on a complete... I mean, this is pure scapegoating of American patriots, anybody that will stand up to Zionist power.
Group that has a gripe with Trump because he's pro-Israel. They happen to be a bunch of sick anti-Semites.
Yeah, they're the fringe right, crazy, radical ones that are they don't belong with MAGA country.
Yeah, the people that question our subordinates to Israel are us becoming a vassal state to Israel, and our president being bought off by the Jewish lobbies and Sheldon Adelson and his involvement with Jared Kushner and Netanyahu. Yeah, they don't belong in MAGA. They're not MAGA. Anybody that questions our relationship with Israel, they're not MAGA. This is what One American News and 9/11 Chabad Lubavitch Giuliani pushes.
Trump supporters.
Some of these guys have been arrested with stuff where they're threatening to kill the president because he supports Israel.
Oh.
It's that bad.
Oh, so anybody that questions Trump's support for Israel is a terrorist that wants to kill him. That's I mean, you don't just conflate wanting to kill Trump with Israel on accident, completely by design.
Calm before the storm.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
You'll find
We
out.
will not.
The calm before the storm. So QAnon wasn't just wasn't just Kabbalistic disinformation. It was also a honey trap to set up what MAGA supposedly represented. Also, finally, this was out several years ago with the QAnon from Anatoly Golitsyn's New Lies for Old. He talks about the Trust Project. The Trust Project was a controlled opposition Bolshevik group that told all the people that wanted to fight the Bolshevik communists, the Russians, that trust the plan. There's good guys. The patriots are in control. Same exact thing was going on in the Bolshevik Revolution. We have the same thing, and then they set them all up. Anyway, QAnon, the storm is coming. I mean, for years and years, they just kept telling all these cult followers with the hypnosis music, the storm is coming. The patriots are in control. The white hats, the deep state cabal's going down, dark to light, which is Kabbalistic. QAnon supporters believe marching on the Capitol could trigger the storm. Well, I think the storming of the Capitol was the storm. Also, don't forget Jared Kushner hired the publicist from Blumhouse Productions. The Purge movies keep election year, keep America great. The imagery of Uncle Sam doing a purge, doing a riot, they egged all of this on. In an event where they hope Trump's foes will be punished in mass executions. Yeah, just imagine the incredibly slim chance that something crazy does go down in 2 days on the 20th. What would we would be talking about is a Zionist coup on the country, led by Zionist disinformation, Steve Pieczenik, Alex Jones, and Trump and all of his allies. That would be a Zionist coup on the country. I'm scared as hell of what we're going to see with the Biden administration, but I don't want the Zog Emperor Chabad Lubavitch Trump going full dictator, declaring martial law and insurrection and taking over the country. That would be disastrous. That would be insanity. Yeah, good point. In the chat, obviously, the storm is highly exaggerated. They basically riled them up, opened the door, let them in for the photo ops. It incredibly exaggerated the threat and the insurrection and the armed insurrection coup and stuff. They hype it up, they exaggerated it, but they got just enough to run with their narrative to fool the majority of normies out there. This was back 2017. The storm, the QAnon conspiracy was literally called The Storm, and then we just so happened to see a storming of the Capitol that gives the ADL and the Zionists and the Jews the perfect pretext they wanted to crack down on white supremacists, anti-Semites, domestic terrorism. Cui bono? Who benefits from all this? And then look at who was behind it, which we're going to get into today. Trump repeatedly refused to denounce the QAnon conspiracies because they're his supporters. His people are involved with it. He lies. He knows all about it. They're laughing. They're laughing at how they're duping you. The 3D chess or the 6D chess was on the gullible patriots of America. Many of them just hopium addicts that like comforting lies, and they preyed upon their vulnerabilities. It's literally cult-like. They also connected so much of it targeted Christians. Many of these Q people pretended to be pastors, or, we're always tying religion into it as well.
Let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all...
The savior, Trump, as the Kabbalistic Moshiach ben Yosef, the Moshiach of Edom, as I showed you in my last video, when all the prophecies say and all the rabbis say Edom will be destroyed. He was the false controlled opposition leader that destroyed the legacy and the stain on America and Europeans and people that are America first. So much damage has been done. And I've been saying this for the last 4 years. Trump is the punching bag. He is the rag doll that all of the hatred and hostility was built up for white America. And now we're seeing it just unleashed.
Overall state that is completely not true
So,
and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
Imagine Trump, who watches Fox News religiously, is always on Twitter. You're trying to tell me he knows nothing about QAnon? He was always throwing little bones to QAnon. Well, I'll show you the article. Retweeting top QAnon peddlers. All his top allies are QAnon people, like the My Pillow guy who funded the Jericho March for stopping the steal a couple weeks ago. He's the Kufi attending Zionist Christian Mike Lindell, former crack addict, by the way. My Pillow guy. My Pillow guy, it came out yesterday that if you do promo code to buy his pillow, promo code QAnon, and you get 20% off. And he's going to pretend like he doesn't know about QAnon. He is a pathological lying fraud.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is
If
a
you'd like
satanic
me
cult
to
run by the deep
study
state.
this, let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia, and I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree with it very
But there's not a
strongly.
satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
being run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't
about
know
that.
Okay.
No, I don't know
You
that.
just
and
this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay.
We all know, again, the device of Netflix, and they have decided that pedophilia is a cabal.
Okay, that's one of them. Come on, what's going on here? All right, here's the other one.
During the pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much.
So he doesn't know anything about them, but he knows they're against pedophiles. He knows they like him very much. He calls them patriots. He's just lying. This is plausible deniability, trying to give them the hat tip, throw them a bone.
Which I appreciate, but I don't know much about the movement. I have heard that it is gaining in popularity, and from what I've heard, these are people that when they watch the streets of Portland, when they watch what happened in New York City in just the last 6 or 7 months, what's going on, and they all...
It is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, you know, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put my...
You see, Trump totally plays into it. Oh, is QAnon such a bad thing? They think I'm going to save the world. Is it such a bad thing?
Out
Completely pandering to these people.
And we are, actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy...
Your parting gift to the radical leftists was the best gift they could have ever gotten, the way that they're going to use this. You're either completely retarded and all your followers are retarded by handing them this pretext, or far more likely, this was by design and engineered.
This country, and when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow. The rest of the world would follow. That's the importance of this country. And when you look at some of the things that these people are saying with defund the police and...
Okay, we got this one now too as well.
With another extraordinary moment in this presidential election, there have been a few repeatedly upended by the pandemic. President Trump and Joe Biden held simultaneous.
About QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact.
General Flynn promoting QAnon, doing the QAnon pledge. Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi promoting it. He's just a complete fraud.
They're some of the most shocking images from the Capitol breach. One pro-Trump rioter in face paint and a horned hat confronting law enforcement, holding a...
Real name, Jacob Chansley. Jacob puts on the furs to steal the birthright from his twin brother Esau. We have the Jews putting on the furs, just like this Orthodox Jew back here behind him, Malofsky or whatever his name was. The two guys in furs that they call a white supremacist, just one of them confirmed Jewish, the other one maybe just a QAnon retard, but also Jacob Chansley was also rumored he had a star of Remfan on his toe.
Spear. The man, now identified as Jake Angeli, flaunted the raid in an interview with NBC News, saying the fact that we had a bunch of our traitors in office hunker down, put on their gas masks, and retreat into their underground bunker, I consider that a win. Police say Angeli is a known QAnon conspiracy theorist who has been seen at previous Trump rallies. QAnon is a far-right extremist group that, among other outlandish things, believes Democrats are running a satanic pedophile ring out of this D.C. pizza parlor. Savannah asked President Trump about his stance on QAnon in October.
It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon. I do know they are very much against pedophilia.
Those comments came after the president said this in August.
I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much, which I appreciate. I've heard these are people that love our country.
Ashley?
You know, Trump probably watches all these Q videos that these hopium peddlers are putting out and just laughs his ass off.
Babbitt, the woman shot and killed in the riot, was another QAnon follower.
Yeah, she went and sacrificed her life over QAnon, literally tried to break a window and jump through it and got shot. And then we have all these QAnon liars with blood on their hands that still are saying, oh, it was all Antifa that provoked everything.
The day before, she tweeted, "Nothing will stop us. They can try and try and try, but the storm is here."
The storm is here. This is the storm that they all let him into. Dark to light. Kabbalistic Chabad Lubavitch, dark to light.
Storm is here. The storm, a reference to a QAnon fantasy in which Trump punishes Democrats for their supposed misdeeds.
Groups like this have a long history in this country of being sort of anti-government and feeling oppressed.
It's funny, they call QAnon anti-government. QAnon got everybody worshiping the president and trusting the plan of the president and whoever he basically Trump liked at any given time. It was trust Sessions, trust Barr, trust, that's who the patriots are. Anybody who likes Trump on any certain day.
The sitting head of government basically says, yes, you're right, the government is against you, then it's just gasoline on a fire.
It all comes amid major concerns about misinformation, social media.
And then Trump riled all these people up to go do this and do this storm, and then immediately disavows them all and betrays them all. And now they're all begging for pardon. Sorry, I don't think that's going to happen.
And the Republican Party. The social media site Parler gaining popularity among Trump supporters, touting in its guidelines, in no case will Parler decide what content will be removed or filtered.
Yeah, right. They're already. Parler tells you to sign, when you sign up, they tell you to follow Laura Loomer, and it's funded by Rebecca Mercer, Robert Mercer's daughter, the big Zionist billionaire donor.
Cable channel Newsmax.
They've already been censoring Newsmax, Paul or Chris Ruddy, Trump's longtime friend, evangelical Christian, Zionist.
Pushing debunk theories about election fraud, actually scored a brief ratings win over Fox News.
One America News or maybe it was Newsmax, they had to give a statement retracting all of their guest claims about Dominion voting systems because Dominion threatened to sue all of them, and Sidney Powell did as well.
And while some of those who violently stormed the Capitol were extremists, some of the peaceful protesters in Washington on Wednesday still believed similar stories.
We're going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
An analysis of online activity lists QAnon as one of the many far-right groups calling for violence at the Capitol for weeks.
Far right. When they call things like far right, it's just that we're going to call it a word that we have conditioned everybody to have a knee-jerk response to think is dirty.
Accounts linked to the group told followers to arm themselves, calling January 6th Independence Day. This QAnon follower told us she was at the Capitol riot and got to the steps.
We had a wonderful, wonderful gathering.
Another white supremacist.
Because every gathering of President Donald J. Trump, it's like going to church.
Is QAnon dangerous for the United States?
It's like going to church. It literally is a cult religion.
The only reason it's dangerous because
faith-based with prophecies and stuff and messiahs and messianic ages.
Because the people that are the liars and the thieves from this country, President Trump speaks the way I speak, the truth.
This fall, the Department of Homeland Security warned in its annual assessment that domestic violent extremists could mobilize quickly to engage in violence after the 2020 presidential election. The agency calling the groups the most persistent and lethal threat to the homeland, Savannah.
The most lethal threat, the Zionist-controlled PSYOP, now that they're using as the justification to crack down on everybody. This is interesting. Insider news. We looked through hours of footage from the Capitol riot to decode the symbols that Trump supporters brought with them, revealing some ongoing threats to U.S. democracy. Number one, does anybody remember any of the media going through all the footage and zooming in on all of the logos and the signs of Antifa and BLM as they were causing chaos and burning down police stations and savagely beating up people in the streets? Killing people, running people over, all types of stuff like that? No, they say, oh, it's mostly peaceful, and they give them billions of dollars, and they don't disavow it, and they say Antifa, that they're just an idea. They're not an organization, they're an idea. The ADL basically supports Antifa, says that it's a hate symbol to be anti-Antifa, because Antifa, as we know, all the headlines show you, is Jews. And I feel like I can't say anything like that without actually showing it, because the Yiddish roots of Antifa, because then the ADL will call me an anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist for just showing the original Antifa was a Jewish anti-Nazi militia. The original Antifa were Jews in New Jersey. Do it. Now watch this.
Looking more closely at the scenes of insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, we started noticing dozens of symbols everywhere.
Okay, I see something in the comments that I just have to respond to. Q did wake up tens of millions of people, or Q did put out some good information. Complete insanity, complete nonsense. It got you stuck in limited hangout disinformation, worshiping the Zionist pawn president. Stop saying that nonsense. QAnon was a disaster.
The details of what people
Look, America first. Don't tread on me.
People wore and carried revealed a deeper story about possible future threats.
Q. Where we go one, where we go all.
We combed through hours of footage and found evidence of a complex network of groups driven by conspiracy theories, white
supremacies and conspiracy theories. The storm is here. Trump won, Biden lost. So the storm is here. This is the storm that they were hyping for 3 years.
Supremacy, and a Trump-infused brand of Christianity.
We love you. You're very special.
As some tried to break open Capitol doors, these men pushed their way through the mob, wearing yellow logos on their jackets. The Oath Keepers are one of the largest anti-government militia organizations in the U.S. today, and they claim to have tens of thousands of law enforcement officers and military veterans in their ranks.
I remember Oath Keepers, the head of it, Stuart Rhodes. He was just at the Jericho March, the Zio Fest. He gave a speech there. He also used to be a frequent guest on Alex Jones.
They vow to protect us on display. The
Gadsden flag. Okay. Oops. All right, next we have a timeline of Trump's QAnon presidency. Dua Lipa down there. So just a couple things here of people that Trump quote tweets a list of his accomplishments by @MAGAPill, a pro-Trump account that regularly promotes QAnon. He would go on to retweet or quote tweet many other QAnon promoting, or it says twice more in that year, but he did it more than that. Always people with Q shirts and merchandise and signs would show up at all of his rallies, but of course he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't get briefed on it. He doesn't go on Twitter. Yes, I mentioned Operation Trust. The Operation Trust, I read this several years ago, and I saw this going around several years ago, and just now it's finally getting picked up by people. We've known this. Here's an interesting Michael LeBron, a.k.a. Lionel, or Zionel, as I like to call him, Alex Jones's buddy, who is always on InfoWars, a self-described conspiracy analyst on the far-right website InfoWars, has regularly promoted QAnon theories. He tweeted photos of himself in the White House with QAnon hashtags, trust the plan, where we go one, we go all. Also, a photo of himself grinning next to President Trump. And let's see, Women for Trump ad. YouTube, in which several Q signs were in Trump's ad. Trump retweets Tracy Beans, a prominent YouTuber and QAnon influencer. Trump retweets Praying Medic. Praying Medic is a I gotta find the Praying Medic clip. This is the time to show it. Praying Medic is such a fraud. Some supposed Christian that says that he has visions in his dreams of God telling him to investigate QAnon. Regularly promoted by Steve Pieczenik. QAnon, here we go. This is Praying
I got
Medic.
involved in the Q movement because God gave me dreams about Q. And he's like, I want you to focus on this. You need to learn. I'm going.
Trump and Steve Pieczenik retweeted this fraud. Praying Medic. God told him in dreams to follow QAnon.
Going to red pill you about corruption and human trafficking and all the other stuff that's going on. So as I've been getting red pilled about all that corruption.
Red pilled used to mean that it's a two-party dictatorship, two sides of the same coin. Not you worship the president and support Republicans and call yourself red pilled.
Corruption and stuff that you guys already know about. Now I am red-pilling you about God.
This fraud probably made millions of dollars. Maybe $1 million just him alone. Imagine all of it's a multi-million-dollar industry. The last 3 years, all of these, probably a few dozen of top Q hopium peddlers, disinformation propagandists made so much money. All the donations, all of the sales, all of the books going to these QAnon frauds, probably from poor little old ladies, people's hard-earned money giving to these con artists.
Trump and the generals are either going to eradicate, lock up, and in some cases execute treasonous, traitorous, corrupt, evil people. They're going to be destroyed, or else they're going to destroy Trump and his family. That is what's going to happen.
Trump is a traitor. Trump signs executive orders that we can't criticize Israel. He supports anti-BDS, that we can't boycott a foreign country. His top donor, Sheldon Adelson, says all he cares about is being a good Zionist and a good citizen of Israel. And you guys want to talk about traitors? Trump gave the keys to the country to Netanyahu. All the tech that flowed to Israel, all the money that flowed, all of the goodies. It was a complete make Israel great again presidency.
Trump is either going to win this battle and the deep state will be eradicated and eliminated, or they're going to come after him and defeat him and kill him and his family. He has
events that did not come to pass the way people expected them to, or the way that Q kind of predicted that they would.
Okay, enough of him. Let's see here. QAnon candidates. Yeah, we got Majori Green, her name is, and other QAnon people running for candidates. She's the one that won. Trump supports her, endorses her. Let's see. There she is. Marjorie Taylor Greene. No relation. My Green doesn't have an E on the end. Okay, that's about it for that article. Now, Jones's involvement. Jones says, yeah, the army told Trump to come on my show many years ago. Jones is being hailed now after the march that he essentially led, although I will give him, I'll be honest, there's video of Alex Jones saying, don't cause violence, pull back, whatever. Still, all of his rhetoric, all of his incendiary rhetoric the last few years, all of his calls for martial law and to round up all the Democrats, and now they're hailing him as the anti-Q voice and saying, oh, he's the voice of reason is how they're branding it. Here is Alex Jones promoting QAnon and then lying about his early involvement getting QAnon rolling.
I didn't mean to go on that rant earlier. I was thinking how much the Q stuff's driven me up the wall and how much it pisses me off, and how then I got accused of supposedly supporting that stuff because it leaks.
He got accused of supposedly supporting it. He's likely talking about me because I had several videos that got lots of views on Twitter showing that he did, in fact, support and legitimize QAnon big time.
Into my show, and then being accused of being part of that because I've got an organization and what my other shows do. And I was separately told this by QAnon. So I'm going to say again, I've talked to QAnon. QAnon is totally real, as Zach and our, Cape Canaveral sources and Space Command sources have pointed out, and people make jokes about that, but that's the 18th agency. You're here. This is big. QAnon. I know you know QAnon's identity.
No, this is Jerome Corsi. He used to write for WorldNet Daily, which is Joseph Farah's Zionist media organization. Literally Zionist award-winning, proud Zionist Joseph Farah, WorldNet Daily. Jerome Corsi is also a Christian Zionist. He is a member of the Council for National Policy, founded by Tim LaHaye, the left-behind end-time Zionist fanatic. He claims that he gets text messages from above Israeli intelligence. He talks about having Orthodox Jewish contacts, and he was an early promoter of QAnon, decoding the Q drops. And then he was hired by Alex Jones to be the Washington correspondent for InfoWars, and he was busted with Roger Stone declassified emails of them colluding with Jerusalem contact who said, Trump will lose if we don't intervene. The intel is in your hands. This is Jerome Corsi.
But yes, obviously we're not going to, and I've confirmed as well, QAnon is a group in the Pentagon.
Oh, so you never supported QAnon, but here you are on video saying QAnon is a group in the Pentagon very close to Trump. I mean, Jones shouldn't be able, nobody should let him live this down. All of these QAnon frauds should never show their face again for peddling this disinfo lie. Complete textbook Soviet trust operation controlled opposition.
And very close to Donald Trump, military intelligence, specifically Army intelligence, I believe. And I've affirmed work.
We've got two Zionist propagandists here promoting QAnon heavily from their large platforms. And the ADL wants to, and I'm going to show more evidence, but just to show, they blame this all on white supremacists. QAnon was all Zionist. Proud Boys founded by Zionists, but they're trying to scapegoat white people because that is their trick. That is their deception.
Working with
that is their duplicity.
The people who run the monitored 8chan, QAnon has been using the same trip code, the same IP addresses for his devices. It's the same Q from the very beginning. And when we were decoding him, it was so bizarre. We were decoding
But
Q.
see, you're playing coy here. You know QAnon, so do we. Let's just leave it at that. The point is that Zach is part of the same group.
Why is the government not trying to investigate who QAnon really is? Unless it was all a setup. They let this go on forever. They let Q videos go viral for years, and then right before the election, they ban a couple of the big ones, so there's all this media hype, and everybody thinks, oh, it's real. They're trying to shut us down. That makes them all double down and believe it even more strongly, that ultimately led to this big storming of the Capitol.
Group, but he's with NASA, and that is the beginning. And QAnon said that 2 weeks ago, and we know who QAnon is, and we play coy about that. But it's Army intelligence and some groups in Florida and others.
Real quick,
Florida, huh, Alex? You mean Special Operations Command, the tip of the spear, Delta Force Special Operations, psychological operations that you claim you're working with? Is that who Q is? Oh, I hope I get to run into Alex Jones one day. I don't even know what I would say to him first. Just complete beat down on Alex Jones and InfoWars. Total Zionist frauds.
listening to Dr. Corsi last night and about all the stuff on 8chan and how releasing. I mean, is that kind of like the ace in the hole? To get
I've been told by 5 different Pentagon sources, high level, that whole 8chan thing is real, and that they're basically forecasting what they'd like to see happen and giving you information. But so that's definitely.
Jones is literally every day now pretending like he never believed in Q. He did a crazy rant that went viral on the QAnon shaman, the guy that had the photo ops of storming the Capitol. And then he has Steve Pieczenik on, which we're going to get into, spouting all of the Q nonsense. Steve Pieczenik, who claimed he founded Delta Force, so that's who's behind QAnon. Is Steve Pieczenik the mastermind that came up with QAnon? He's the one that's writing all these fiction books about coups and stuff.
Definitely real, and that's why Corsi's been.
The White House told him that QAnon, and Pentagon sources told him Q was definitely real, and now Alex Jones is trying to pretend like he never promoted Q. Total fraud, busted. Look, at least this has 15,000 views. Too bad the video of Alex Jones going crazy on Q just after the storm of the Capitol got like 2 million views.
See happen and giving you information. But so that's definitely real. And that's why Corsi's been, I'll let you know because the enemy knows. The White House directly asked Corsi to be on the 8chan beat a month ago. So, but that's directly from the White House.
The White House told Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi to follow Q. Why is that not a headline? Why has mainstream media not picked this up? The White House, Alex Jones also claimed that the White House told him to march, and then he got a big $500,000 donor to fund the march on the 6th.
Dr. Corsi is so smart. And then one other thing.
But I mean, what does that say about QAnon? Whether it's, I mean, we're being told by the White House, please cover this. So what does that tell you?
What does that tell you? It tells me that you're a lapdog agent working for Zionist Trump. And that's even what your former employee, David Knight, said about you. So now we're going to get into Steve Pieczenik. Is this Dr. Steve Pieczenik's last appearance on InfoWars? We're going to play some of the highlights from that we have here. Go over to my editing software. This is the clips of him basically admitting, Steve Pieczenik, that he's been using InfoWars for his disinfo psychological operations to basically have a Zionist coup, because Steve Pieczenik says he wants to have a Kushner presidency, a Chabad Lubavitch presidency. And that'll all make sense once you hear him talk about his family lineage.
In 7 days, Pieczenik, tell us who's gonna be the president and what's about to happen.
7 days. Let me repeat it again, Jones. It's going to be Trump. It will not be Biden. Biden's people will be arrested. There will be people who will be arrested. Pelosi, Biden, Schumer. That's what's going to happen. And if I'm wrong, fine. Don't put me on your show. If I'm right, what else are you going to do? The truth is, you were the vehicle through which I was promoting the necessary actions that had to be accomplished. Think of that for a moment. You were
He's openly saying he used InfoWars to push his psychological operations through Alex Jones. Is Steve Pieczenik Alex Jones's controlled opposition Mossad handler, possibly?
First entity as a banned video you identified 19 years ago when you came forth and I associated with you on 9/11. Subsequently, many generals in Special Forces and Cyber Command and NSA and elsewhere understood that the wars that were created by Cheney, who will be under arrest, the coward that he was in the avoidance of going into the draft, by Mitt Romney, a Mormon, who will also be arrested for the corruption he committed with Bain Capital and elsewhere. He will probably be desanctified from the LDS. All of these elements came out through you, Alex Jones. So you were chosen as the method through which we could initiate a military coup.
Why is Steve Pieczenik not targeted by the media for attacks? Why is he not hauled in front of the Mueller-Russiagate investigation or any of the investigations happening right now? Why is he not banned on YouTube and on Twitter for being literally like maybe the origin of all of this insanity? He's openly talking about with Alex Jones about planning a coup. They all attack Alex Jones and just seem to always leave Steve Pieczenik out. Does anybody else find that odd? The guy that used to work for Henry Kissinger in regime change.
But for the first time, you're beginning to understand you were the vehicle through which I could implement, or the system could implement, what they needed to do. Talking about you, Alex. You were the vehicle that was initially anointed, say, by me, all right?
This guy, the day after the election, when Trump lost, said, "Oh, there's watermarks. It's the biggest sting operation ever. The arrests are already about to happen. Trump's playing Sun Tzu, The Art of War." None of that happened. Where are the watermarks? Is Trump going to come out with these watermarks before or after all of his followers are banned and labeled domestic terrorists and sacrifice their lives as they storm the Capitol to accomplish absolutely nothing? Nor was there the possibility that they could have accomplished anything positive. Just a pure pretext gift to the other side.
But you were anointed because I took that risk to say this is going to be the major vehicle for where we're going to go in the next 20 or 30 years.
20 to 30 years. The anointed one, like Alex Jones Moshiach, huh? That's what Moshiach means, is like anointed one, the anointed king.
So in this process, you have to remember, what is this coup about? This is a coup to pay back the Cheneys for the corruption and cowardness, for the wars that they sent us in Iraq.
He loves to talk about 9/11. He always seems to want to focus on Bush and Cheney and I think Rumsfeld and Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice. He has mentioned before the Zionist involvement in 9/11, but he doesn't seem to want to focus on that. And also, maybe I have the clip here, but Steve Pieczenik once said that Jared Kushner and Trump put Mossad and Israel on notice. That's what he said. Kushner put Mossad on notice. That's a Steve Pieczenik quote for you.
Iraq and Afghanistan. To Obama, who set up the war, including Biden, who specifically sent soldiers there, and we lost 5,000 people there. To Obama again, who sent us into war into Afghanistan. To Bush Sr., to Colin Powell, who lied continuously, pathological liar, who was a coward in Vietnam and said we didn't have My Lai. Then he lied when he said we had anthrax.
No, I understand. You're all exposing their backgrounds. How is it a successful military coup?
Oh, and by the way, I mean, although Alex just should have not even allowed Steve Pieczenik back on after the watermarks lie, he brings him back on. And this is definitely, it seems to be a contentious, passive-aggressive conversation here. Jones is a little insulting. Steve Pieczenik is also passive-aggressive back.
Against the deep state, who he knows there and is corrupt. The globalist arm of the deep state, I guess. If Biden gets in 7 days, or are you saying Trump's going to get in? There's about to be mass arrests. We don't have a lot of time here, like 150 hours. What are you saying is about to happen?
48 hours now.
I'm about to say that Biden is not going to be the president of the United States. What I'm going to be saying is that there have been massive arrests. And what I'm saying, in effect, is that we are in martial law and we have a military coup, which simply means that there is going to be a...
The idea that they got the Patriots clamoring for a Zionist military coup on the country and think this is winning, this is a good thing, is just incredibly disturbing how they're able to brainwash these people.
A large number of people who are going to be arrested, detained, and will be tried by military tribunal.
They've been claiming for 4 years that these arrests are about to happen. They've made all these dates, predicted that something would happen. Never has anything happened.
The reason it's military is because we no longer trust our CIA. We no longer trust our politicians. We do not trust our governors. We do not trust the senior officials who are in Congress or in the Senate. It's as simple as that. I said it to you years ago. I told you exactly who was going to leave. They left. I wrote the book 27 years ago about a military coup happening in the United States, state of emergency. It's as simple as that, Alex.
So it's simple as that. Did Steve Pieczenik write the book for this coup that's happening? This is what he claims: state of emergency, 1999. Interesting, right before 9/11. state of emergency. I haven't read it yet, but it says basically does not give to their demands. It doesn't seem at all like what's going on right now. So who knows? Maybe he's just trying to promote his book and make some sales.
In 7 days, Pachenik, tell us who's going to be the president and what's about to happen.
7 days. Let me repeat it again, Jones. It's going to be Trump. It will not be Biden. Biden's people will be arrested. There will be people who will be arrested. Pelosi, Biden, Schumer. That's what's going to happen. And if I'm wrong, fine. Don't put me on your show. If I'm right, what else are you going to do? The point of fact is either you want to believe me or not. I don't particularly care what most people say or don't say. My job.
Doc, you've been on the show and given us a lot of good info over the years. You said that the East Coast and West Coast would collapse and everything would move to the South. I mean, you said a lot of things that are true. I'm just sitting here watching this fiasco.
The East, you've said a lot of stuff that's true. The East Coast and the West Coast will collapse and move to the South. What the hell is he talking about?
And I see the left provocateuring right-wing groups for a bunch of craziness this weekend, and it doesn't look good to me. So I don't want to encourage people, like you saw the Q guys going to the Capitol with zip ties. They thought they were on a secret mission to arrest people.
You told them that Trump was QAnon, that Pentagon is QAnon. It's your fault, Jones. Don't try to disassociate and then lie and say you never promoted it.
Alex, quiet down a bit. You've never been in a military coup. You do not understand what that means. You do.
Jones's face is too funny right here. You've never been in a coup. You don't understand what that means, he says. Look at Jones' face. Insulted a little bit.
Do not understand how quickly we work and how long we've been preparing for this. When I told you months ago that we were involved in this and we were taking over all the elements of the political system because we could not trust the Mitt Romneys, the governors, the senators, the judges. You're talking about when I said to you years ago, and you still don't remember, John Roberts, the Supreme Court justice, has been indicted. He was corrupt at the time that he made the Obama case into a tax. He then went to Malta. He was paid off. He will be arrested. You're talking about Obama's people, where I said repeatedly he was a CIA operative. There was nothing about him that was real. He was a homosexual who had been on drugs and everything.
You said be quiet. I'm going to ask questions here. Let's look at this. The Joint Chiefs of Staff put out a letter saying Biden will be president. Who is that from? What is that?
I don't know who the Joint Chiefs. That's not relevant to us because the real operational is not the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It's the military individuals who are involved. It's the CIA, it's other people involved.
Listen, I'm not lending credence to what you're saying, but having the Joint Chiefs go, it will be Biden, and the military must follow our orders. He
says he's not giving credence to what he's saying, except he's like your number one source for 20 years that you continue to keep bringing on.
Them sound weak. Why would they need to say that if there wasn't some internal battle going on?
Do you remember when I said to you, General Mattis will be thrown out? You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Was he thrown out?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. Did I tell you Mattis would leave? He left.
Look who else wanted Mattis gone. ZOA, don't appoint General James Mattis as Secretary of Defense. He's hostile to and misunderstands Israel. Who's Steve Pachenik connected to where he would know something like that?
Because he lied about what he did and who he was. Biden was never elected legally. Biden will not be in the presidency. Kamala Harris will not be in the vice presidency. All of the appointments, including this new Secretary of Defense, who they think is wonderful, but I happen to know about him.
What about the new so-called CIA director? Well, let me say this. The one thing I know you're saying is true. The one thing I know you're saying is true is we are under martial law right now. It's not just in D.C.
That's correct. I've said it repeatedly. You're under martial law everywhere. The state of California.
Why do I see Black Hawk helicopters hovering over downtown Austin this morning?
Because you're sitting down in Austin, you're working very hard in your studio, and you're trying to sell vitamins.
A little dig about his nutraceutical cells there.
We don't send Black Hawk helicopters everywhere. This is not just special forces. These are units from all over the country.
We'll see what comes out of all of this, but obviously I'm going to ask the tough questions here. A 19-year history with this guy on air. He's given us 99% good stuff. But, I mean, gosh, I hope he's right. Now, some say don't have him on. Well, you can burn in hell, too. You know, this idea that I'm just supposed to have one view on here or one idea.
One view, one idea. How many anti-Zionists have you come on? How have you had on your show? How many anti-Trump people has been on your show in the last few years? Jones, fraud.
This is all in flux. We are under martial law.
We're under martial law. So Trump needs to declare martial law. That's what he says. So check out Schroyer now. This is Schroyer in January 2018 calling on the storm with Steve Pieczenik.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Was it the 19th? Was it January 19th of last year Trump was inaugurated? It was the 20th? Okay, so we are just 2 nights away from the eve of Trump's inauguration. And I think, as President Trump said when he went on the Alex Jones...
I just saw somebody say, oh, Jones had E. Michael Jones on once. Well, I think it might have been twice, but E. Michael Jones, when it boils down to it, is pro-Trump.
Show, give me a year. I think you'll be impressed. Folks, I think the storm is about to hit. I think the entire deep state's about to be exposed. Obama's DOJ, Obama's FBI, Fusion GPS, Hillary Clinton, all working together to try to steal an election from the American people and then as an insurance policy illegally spy on Trump and his campaign team to fabricate information and then entrap members of his campaign team. This is amazing. Steve Pieczenik joins us now. Dr. Pieczenik, I'm blown away right now. I'm blown away by what's going on in the House Intelligence Committee. I'm blown away by what's going on in the Judiciary Committees. I'm blown away by these Fusion GPS testimonies going public. For the first time ever, I have more confidence that the storm, we are honestly on the edge of the storm. I'm starting to feel the storm come, Steve. What are you seeing here?
Well, I'm glad you feel the storm come, but quite frankly, the storm was over a year ago when we brought in Trump. What you're seeing now is basically the aftermath of a major storm that had occurred with no one really understanding how Trump came in and how we and the intelligence community and others had helped to bring Trump to the forefront.
So this is Alex Jones's same narrative that people in the intelligence community, the white hats, aka all the Zionists, are brought Trump in, which there very likely could be some partial truth to that.
The storm is over. Hillary is over. Mueller is over. The FBI is over. The CIA, certain elements are over. That's why Pompeo, who was #1 at West Point, was put in. We have several military.
That's why Pompeo, #1 at West Point, was put in. Oh, my God. Do I have... Pompeo is the biggest Shabbos Noahide Goy Christian Zionist, like literally ever in the history of American politics about. He is the top. Of course, Steve Pieczenik endorses Pompeo. Pathetic.
Generals in charge. We have every congressional district. We have a military.
Tom Fitton, another member of the Council for National Policy.
Installation or project. So basically, we're not worried about any Democrats or congressmen. If you look.
Oh, not worried? It looks like Biden's about to take office in 2 days, and all of Trump's supporters are going to be on list, banned, and labeled domestic terrorists.
Look at the map of the United States. We in the intelligence and military community are basically in charge, and Trump is on top of that.
There you go. Owen, who saw my debate with Owen Schroyer? I had 2 of them. They were short. He ran away pretty quick with his tail between his legs.
Okay, so I took Dr. Steve Pieczenik's bet that if Trump is president on January 21st, 2021, that we're going to hire Pieczenik with a daily show if he wants it. I'll pay him $200,000 a year.
Remember, he says he claims that he fired David Knight because he didn't have the money. That was the first lie. But then he said, gave another story. More on that in a second.
He's got that bet, but he's not allowed, if he loses the bet, to just go away. He has to come back on the show, not to humiliate him.
Not to humiliate him? You're not going to humiliate this fraud who peddled these total lies?
I'm wrong about stuff. I felt like I was set up. No one would pay for the events on the 5th, the 6th. I got the money together.
Maybe he was set up. Maybe Nick Fuentes was set up. Maybe they're involved. I don't know.
Then luckily, a donor came in and paid for like 80% of it. It's like $500,000 that ended up the donor.
They can be involved on one level, but they're only told what they have to know to do their job, a need-to-know basis, and may not, know what all the other factions are doing.
Like 400,000, like 100 and something. And then we're like, okay, I'm supposed to lead this march of hundreds of thousands of people. They couldn't even hear me on a bullhorn. I get there, some idiots provocateur, they break in all the stupidness.
Provocateurs. They're trying to blame this all on provocateurs. Not on them, not on the QAnon people.
Dr. Steve Pieczenik has been more accurate than he's been wrong. I mean, I'd give him 95% accuracy rate. And he's doubling down. I'll give it to him. Some of this sounds Q-ish to me, but he's a
Q-ish. It's not fully Q, it's just Q-ish. When Jones had the QAnon shaman on like 2 days before this, he blew up, went totally crazy, said, I won't suffer you Q people, but then he brings Pieczenik on and goes, oh, you sound a little Q-ish. Steve Pieczenik got David Knight fired for David Knight calling out Pieczenik's lies, and now he's calling Alex Jones a disinfo grifter and a fraud. What kind of power does Steve Pieczenik have over Alex Jones that he can demand that his employees get fired?
real guy. He's a best-selling author. He's a psychiatrist. He did the Camp David Accords. He's been around forever.
The Camp David Accords was the screw job peace negotiation that they did with the Israelis and the Palestinians. You're telling me he was involved with Menachem Begin, the Likud Ergon terrorist?
He did write Tom Clancy's books. He did make these big films. He did overthrow governments. I mean, he's been on the show before, and
he did overthrow governments. And now what are we witnessing right now?
There's like federal investigations over it and articles in the London Guardian. Yeah, he's the one that tricked the communists to kill the Italian prime minister. And I mean, he's definitely done the stuff. Okay, it's not a bunch of talk. And so he's sitting here saying all of this, and then I see the weird martial law and all this stuff. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm just a guy that researches politics here in Texas and loves freedom.
Oh, I'm not involved. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Dr. Pieczenik, you're a nice guy and a smart guy, but I don't think you mean bad. I just think you're being overly optimistic here. So we're going to find out in 7 days. In 7 days, you're coming back on, aren't you?
Absolutely. But remember one thing about...
Oh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see... I'm going to be watching all these QAnon people afterwards. They really should be apologizing, giving their money back that they grifted from probably poor, desperate people that are just addicted to hope.
About me. How is a very nice guy able to take out the Khmer Rouge without any weapons, able to take out the Soviet Union without any weapons, able to take out Noriega without any weapons? Do you understand what this nice guy does? Do you understand that this nice guy... I don't
involve all of that stuff, so tell us. Give us your view.
No, I just said it to you. I'm a very nice guy, but again, understand what I'm really about. When I said to you, the state of emergency was written 27 years ago about a military coup in the United States. It pinpointed Mitt Romney as one of the villains. It pinpointed the Irish Catholics, the Brennans, the Pelosi's.
Oh, the Jew going after the Catholics, QAnon and all of those types saying, oh, it's not the Zionist, it's really the Vatican that's behind everything. First of all, the Pope says he wants to ban anti-Semitism. At least by Vatican II, they were taken over. The Pope says inside every Christian is a Jew. Christian end times prophecy is all about fulfilling Jewish end times prophecy first. Who do you think's scamming who?
The Faucis, the Comos, all of that. Now, how is it that I knew that? The question at hand here is, you haven't been played at all, Alex. The reason I enjoy you is, first of all, you have an incredible mind and you have an incredible wit. But both of us are very strong-willed. You have never been played. And the reason you were chosen was the fact that I really enjoyed being on your show. I've been asked to be on a lot of shows, and I say, no, I'm not interested. But if you go on the
I'm
Alex
very
Jones
glad to be
show,
chosen, and you're a good guest about a lot of good commentary. But seriously, we built a big audience of great people. I'm trying.
Funny, Steve Pieczenik, I've never seen him on any other show. I think I've tweeted him and told him to come on my show before. He won't do it because I would ask him tough questions. Jones just gives him softball interviews and lets him use him as a conduit to push his Zionist propaganda, his QAnon disinfo.
Trying to figure out. So you can't tell us how this magic's going to happen and Joe Biden's going to step down in 7 days? I mean, explain to me the details.
I just said it to you. You're perseverating, Alex. I said to you there will be arrests of the Bidens, the Pelosi's. It's going on now. He will not come to the presidency.
I agree with you, Ken. I hope you're right. Can we meet your cat, please?
So now he kind of tries to call him like a crazy old cat man.
I only have 2. I have 2 cats and 3 dogs.
3 dogs.
All right. Well, I'm holding my breath here. StevePieczenik.com. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. Just enjoy it. Go home and relax.
That's the QAnon thing. Sit back, relax, grab your popcorn. The arrests are coming. The Patriots are in charge. Trust the plan. This is the same thing.
Well, I'm not a deep sea diver, but I have tried it. All right. I tell you, I'm going to hit a bunch of news and cover some stuff. But that was definitely optimism porn. And boy, I'll be sleeping better tonight.
Really? That's going to make you sleep better tonight? Jones also had a joke here where he says, can you have a coup and install your cat as president?
Why don't you know what? Let me bring a very simple issue here. You have a wonderful person named Daria. I won't say anything more. Ask her what it was like under the Soviet Union to live under repression. And how is it that the following could occur in every fascist system? First, you create fear. We did that.
Okay, I don't have that clip ready. But here, let's show you one more little compilation of him.
Here's the bet we're going to have, Alex.
Oh, wait,
For those of you who don't,
here's his background.
For those of you who don't know me, I am Jewish. I came out of the diaspora. I basically am related to Rambam, and
Rambam, the greatest Jewish sage, the Maimonides, who says Christianity is idol worship, who says, who talks about the 7 Noahide laws. He's like the top rabbi of Chabad Lubavitch. He brags that that's his family lineage.
I was involved with, my family was involved with Begin and Jabotinsky.
His family is involved with 2 Zionist terrorists, Jabotinsky and Menachem Begin of the Irgun terrorist group, bombed the King David Hotel, formed the Likud party, took power in the 70s. Jabotinsky, Netanyahu's father, worked for Jabotinsky. Of course, Netanyahu's in the Likud party now.
My rabbi, and it turns out to be a family member.
Family member's a rabbi. This is the day after the election where he's talking about the watermarks now.
People will be arrested as of tonight.
He said the arrests will happen tonight, and they never happen, and he's still saying they're going to happen. And people still... I saw a poll on InfoWars that I think it was 43% of InfoWars watchers said that they agreed with Steve Pieczenik.
Tomorrow, and it will go on for quite a while. And this was a total sting operation, that I can say.
So
I will
explain...
not be by anybody else. I have the permission to say it. I do not deal with classified information. As you know, I do not work for our government, but because I'm loyal to the Republic.
Let me be very frank. I have never been an aficionado of the Constitution.
Funny, he says that he's loyal to the Republic, and then now he says he's not a fan of the Constitution. And he's basically organized a coup on a Zionist coup on America where through InfoWars. And he won't get called, he won't be attacked by the media, he won't be banned, and he hasn't been investigated by the government. How is that possible?
I have never been an aficionado of the Constitution. The reason for it, it's outdated. And what's happening now is we're coming into a...
Loyal to which republic? Israel? Yeah, good point. Come on. Why is this not
a new realism, a hyper-realism, where the states become more important? The devolution of power from the federal government, I told you, it's happening very quickly, except for one thing. The paradox is that Trump is very strong as a president. The subsequent president will never be as strong as Trump because now he will make sure we're independent. We broke away from China. Our medicines are made in the United States. Our products are made in the United States.
So you need a strong leader to create the de-evolution of power.
Did he really just say that all of our products are made in the United States?
back to the people, but then like
Trump's going to give power back to the people, just like Alex Jones said. A CIA source told him that, oh, you're bashing the Rothschilds. They're backing Trump, and they're going to bring wealth back to the people.
Washington, the leader blows it up when he leaves.
No, because he is.
I'm saying he blows up the strongman archetype. I'm just saying, like,
correct. That's correct. It will go on to Pence. From Pence, it will go on to Ivanka or Jared Kushner, and we will remain a viable country and a great country. I have no fear.
Imagine saying the words Jared Kushner for president will make us be a great country. And he pretended to be against Kushner at one point, but then started just praising him and lauding him and like took the mask off and just went full Zio, full QAnon Zio. It's almost as amazing as when Alex Jones said Kushner sounds strong. He's a good-looking guy. He sounds strong. Like they're grooming him to be president. Great. Alex Jones quotes shown a million times.
Okay, so I took Dr. Steve Pieczenik's bet.
Okay, now we gotta close this and move on. We're gonna talk about David Knight now. David Knight was fired over Steve Pieczenik. Just as a little more vindication, you know, many years ago I had a video that I think it had like almost 300,000 views. It was called InfoWars Employees Expose Alex Jones. And we can add another one to the list now. David Knight. I brought this up with my debate with Owen Schroyer too, and he goes, oh, that guy's just a cracker, or that person's crazy, or who cares what they say. Now we have David Knight worked there for a decade. He had his own show on InfoWars. Now what is he saying? Owen, Alex Jones and Steve Pieczenik still pushing clickbait lies, disinfo shills. Ever wonder why info gatekeepers never refer to Pieczenik with the usual slurs and labels? Or why YouTube has no problem with his Q shit, but gives me a strike and removes videos debunking him? Actually, I don't wonder. David Knight did a video called like my gift to David Knight or to Steve Pieczenik, and I saw he did get a strike and the video got taken down. For years, Alex Jones has said Pieczenik will never be on the show again. He lies about Sandy Hook, Las Vegas, presidential assassinations, but AJ keeps it coming. Is it for views or a deeper purpose? I told AJ 2 months ago he should debunk if he wanted any credibility. I think it's a deeper purpose, if you ask me. David Knight says, AJ never paid me to lie, but he fired me for telling the truth. Now he's offering a job to a known liar. How many times does Pieczenik have to be proven wrong? 20,000 National Guard sent to arrest those who rigged the election. Arrest began on November 4th. That would be November 5th, I think. Blockchain watermarks, sting operation, clown world, he says. It was a hinge point, the point at which Alex became unhinged apologist for Trump and abandoned truth and liberty. How can Jones hire anyone, much less the prestigious Steve Pieczenik, when Jones had to let Knight go because he was broke? And he says, bingo, Alex has had more stories about his firing than Hillary has about Benghazi. They're both grifting liars without regard for our country. David Knight says, InfoWars won't apologize. Alex Jones threatened him and his family when he demanded they retract the lies he pushed about him this week. I used to think he was a blind fool infatuated with Trump. Much more sinister than that. He knows exactly what he's doing. David Knight is probably under NDA. Alex Jones has already basically threatened to out him as a Hitler lover. And he's still saying all this about Jones. I mean, as if you needed any more vindication about what Jones is, now we're getting it from one of his top employees. Worked there a decade with his own show. And what Schroyer has to say about all of this. Now, where is it? Every day on BitChute now, we have top trending videos. Hold on, I need to find it. We got a lot of news to cover today. I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break. I think I might have accidentally closed it. I did. Anyway, You go to the top trending on BitChute every day, and it's all QAnon shills. I wonder if this is AstroTurf propped up with fake bots to create a fake consensus, a fake herd groupthink, or it's just to dominate the top trending page, so that's what more people click on. That's all they can see, and also it buries some of the better information, like videos that I'm putting out. Simon Parks, this guy who just a couple weeks ago had, like, I don't even think he had 30,000 subscribers, now has 137,000 subscribers on BitChute, which very likely could be the top channel on BitChute. Look at his videos here. Every one of them is pure Q nonsense. Look at these views. 50,000 views, 825,000 views, 736,000 views. This one was with Charlie Ward, another Q shill that they're promoting in this network. 356,000 views, 720,000 views, 296,000 views, 145. Every video gets this many views. Many of them are with Charlie Ward. Here he is with Robert David Steele, another QAnon promoting fraud. You go back much further, just to December. Look, 300 views, 1,400 views. Maybe this is because his YouTube channel was still up and his YouTube channel got banned. But Simon Parks, this is the guy that's top trending every day, almost every day the last few weeks on BitChute. Wait till you see how much of a nutcase this guy is. This is him. Simon Parks loves aliens and Donald Trump. This is the stuff this guy believes. Of these people promoting QAnon aren't even American. This is the guy that's dominating the narrative around the election. This guy that believes the most outrageous stuff about QAnon and aliens. London. About the election. Is the world really that mentally ill that they think this guy is where they get their truth? Or is this being propped up by bots as disinfo? My videos where I show clips, I show evidence, I show history, I back up the things I say, get, 10, 20,000 views on BitChute. His gets hundreds of thousands when he believes that his mom is an alien. It's so incredibly frustrating that people take this guy seriously. Robert David Steele just said he basically endorsed this guy in a video today. And Brian from High Impact Flicks did 2 videos on this guy. I'll do the whole link in the chat if you guys want to watch the whole thing on your own, or you could just search it. But I mean, you've seen enough. What else do I need to go on? The guy says he's having sex with cats and his mom is an alien, and this is the guy that has the biggest account on BitChute promoting this QAnon crap. Here, we're streaming back on the backup YouTube channel as well now too. I need some mods in there. Who wants to be a mod? Albert Bashai, you can be a mod. Here we go. Add moderator. Keep it clean in there for me. All right. Now, some more Q shills. We can go on and on. We have Roseanne Barr now. It's funny how they try to say that QAnon is white supremacy and anti-Semitism. Then why is it promoted by Israeli Zionist Jews like Lowell Joseph Gallon? Here he is sharing Steve Pieczenik with the hashtags Dr. Steve Pieczenik, End of Days, Messianic Era, Third War of Gog and Magog, Third Israelite Jerusalem Temple. This guy believes in Q. Here's on the Leo Zagami show, where they attacked me as an anti-Semite, by the way. He says, get ready for a very special show with one of the most controversial figures in the U.S., MAGA, QAnon, End of Days, Messianic Era, Hanukkah, Third Temple. QAnon is Kabbalah, Messianism, disinfo, Honeytrap. This guy is a Zionist Israeli. And the ADL wants to scapegoat white people and anti-Semites for what happened, for what went down. Here we have Joseph Gallon again. Q from our friend, the lady Roseanne Barr. Queen Esther, who that means she's going to basically slaughter anti-Semites. Amalek in America. And Devorah the Prophetess, Judge of Our Time, hashtag Roseanne Barr, hashtag QAnon.
Q.
Roseanne, the Zionist Jew, promotes Q.
I love Q. I love QAnon. I love that there are researchers. You know, they've got. You know, it's not everybody painting with a broad brush again, because a lot of them are real anti-Semitic. But
Just they consider just mentioning Soros or the Rothschilds that qualifies as anti-Semitism to these people. Just to keep note of that.
the QAnon researchers who like are searching government facts and like real stuff, not mythological demons and all that stuff.
QAnon researchers that go for the real facts, not mythological demons. Literally, Simon Parks is having sex with mythical demon cats.
They've done a great job to bring to the attention of the American people what really goes on in our name and with our money. And so, you know, God bless Q, stay above the fray and keep it coming. Keep loving, keep searching, keep connecting all those dots. And pretty soon it'll just hit tipping point and all the bad will just float away.
Amen. Thank you, Rosanna. And we probably going to see
I do think Trump is Q+.
Trump is Q+. I don't know what Q+ is, but she thinks it's Trump, apparently. Oh, and yes, she speaks with her rabbi, and she's waiting for Moshiach. Trust in QAnon and wait for Moshiach. Look at these white supremacist anti-Semites. They need to be censored and labeled domestic terrorists.
I like to listen to this Rabbi Kessin. I like the way he interprets Torah, because it's very like the way I interpret Torah too, the way I understand it. But he's saying that he's trying to warn people, and I told him I would help because I believe it too. Try to warn people that a time is coming quickly, quicker than we know or understand or perceive. A time is coming when we will no longer be able to choose right from wrong. We won't be able to do that anymore, because what happens is when Mashiach is made known, when Mashiach makes its presence known, the whole world is going to change. And what's going to happen is none of the old laws are going to apply, and
only the Noahide laws for the Noahide repenting Esau. Everybody else will be destroyed. You won't have any freedom of, what would you say, right and wrong, no free will.
There will be no more free will.
No more free will. Doesn't that sound great? Because Moshiach will behead all the Christians. Exactly, damn Bigfoot. And because Moshiach comes, or either when he comes or before he comes, Amalek is destroyed. Amalek is anybody that opposes their Zionist agenda. Adam, these crazy people scare me, says Highly Blessed. I know, they scare me too. That's why I'm researching and making hour-long or multi-hour-long videos about them every day.
It's wise that you get into repenting and understand what you've done with your free will and try to correct what you have.
Here she is, hanging out with her, these white supremacist QAnon supporters and anti-Semites. Here she is hanging out, smoking bowls with Zionist darling Laura Loomer, talking about anti-Semitism. What else would they talk about?
Listen, have you ever gotten high? You said you've never smoked pot before.
No, I've smoked pot, but I've just never really smoked it from a pipe. I just kind of like those edibles and smoke joints.
Well, I want you to I want to be the first person that you ever smoked pot with. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we're going to talk about.
I gotta say, I usually always make fun of Laura Loomer's looks. What do you guys think? Is this not the best she's ever looked? As mean as I've been to her over the years, I can say, like, maybe go back to this look for everybody's sake. Or does this still look like Jigsaw from the Saw movies?
About anti-Semitism.
All right, yeah, we're going to talk about Jew hatred while smoking weed.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's great.
Talking about Jew hatred while smoking weed, it's the best. Quote.
Take an inhale.
Oh.
Just put your finger right here on your thumb.
All right.
Okay, and then suck in. You got some, right?
Yeah, I got some.
All right. Well, that's all we'll do because we want to stay rational.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be smoking
What's
weed
it
with
feel
Roseanne
like?
Barr.
It's the lighting.
What does
it's
it
the
feel
hair.
like to smoke pot with me, Laura? Let's talk
It just
about
feels
me.
iconic.
Enough
you know?
about you. Let's talk about me.
Feels great. I mean, you're an icon, you know? And it's Purim.
Okay, anyway, it's Purim and you're Queen Esther. Purim, let's destroy the Amalekites. And that's what we're seeing happen right now. The destruction of Amalek in America and bringing down America. Like I said in my video the other day, the top rabbi in Israel says America is collapsing. That is the destruction of Edom, like can't get into this time. Okay, so now more Qs, more QAnon shills here. This one is export of videos. SGT report promoting Google whistleblower Zach Voorhees.
Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report.
Now, SGT Report, anonymous Sean, who never shows his face, just makes these little hypnosis background music videos telling you to trust the plan. And hey, patriots, Donald Trump's a patriot. Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, is a patriot. Promoting all of these Zio shills and this whole, he was one of the biggest promoters of QAnon. And we're going to hold him accountable for this when nothing happens and Trump's out.
Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report here. Thank you so much for tuning in and finding me on BitChute.
True story. Sorry to interrupt, but I met an old lady at the farmer's market who just started talking to me a few years ago about QAnon. And then she's like, watch SGT Report. You'll learn all about it. That's who they're preying on.
There's not too many other places you can find me at this point. We'll get into that in a second. But first, what does an American patriot look like? Yeah, My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. You know, and it just so happens I got one of these My Pillows from my wife for Christmas. You know why? Because she understands that Mike Lindell is an American patriot.
Mike Lindell, the American patriot that's here super happy at his Kufi Christians United for Israel summit. That's what a patriot looks like, supporting John Hagee, who worships Israel, who calls for an insurrection. He just went and met with the president, and they saw on his notepad it said Insurrection Act. The guy that funded the Jericho March with one Zionist shill after another, pure Ziofest. This is a patriot, according to SGT Report. Pathetic, Sean, pathetic.
And he shared a very important message with Americans earlier today. I'll play that clip for you in a second. But first,
Mike Lindell,
just a word about this video.
Stand with fellow believers and Israel. Stand with Israel. It's the patriotic thing to do.
Sponsor. We're at SGT Report, wherever you're finding us. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe it's the podcast over on iTunes or Odysee. You might be finding us on Rumble. Thanks for tuning in. I have on the line a good friend of mine, Zach Voorhees, the Google whistleblower. Zach and I have gotten to know each other quite well, of course, both being involved in a lawsuit against Google. Zach, how are you, sir?
Hey, Sean, good to be back on the show.
Good to have you back, sir.
Hi, my name is Zach Voorhees, and I am the Google whistleblower.
Zach Voorhees, the Google whistleblower, who blocks me, calls me a shill for calling Alex Jones a shill, and then a few months later, he disavows Jones because Jones turned against QAnon or something. So another SGT Report source for his, and this guy goes on SGT Report and pushes the same exact Q crap that Steve Pieczenik is pushing. And of course, what do you know? He endorses Laura Loomer, has been friends with Laura Loomer since 2017. Yeah, is your guys' radar going off with this guy? Because it's sure going off with me, Zachary.
Good to have you back, sir.
Hi, my name is Zach Voorhees, and I am the Google whistleblower. I want to formally endorse Laura Loomer for Congress. I've been watching Laura since she was a journalist in 2000.
Laura Loomer with Ali Alexander making a documentary with Laura Loomer and Jacob Wohl, complete discredited trash.
Congress. I've been watching Laura since she was a journalist in 2017, and she has been one of the people that I consider with the highest integrity as a journalist.
Highest integrity as a journalist, as she sits next to Jacob Wohl with his bulletproof vest and his fake security as they're making their documentary about Ilhan Omar. This is who he endorses here.
She does not back down, and she stands up to power. And
does not back down. There she is. It looks like in Israel. I'm not sure if this is just the address 8200 or if this is where Unit 8200 is.
As your representative, she is going to represent you and your health and your family.
Here she is with Adelson, and she's going to represent you. The girl who said she was trying to get into Congress so that she could crack down on anti-Semitism, as if that's what we needed. That she was going to stand up to big tech and also crack down on anti-Semitism, as if those things aren't completely contradictory.
And in the strongest possible terms, I endorse her, and I think that you should go out there and vote and bring your friends to vote for her. Laura, you got this. We support you. Thanks.
Hey, no, that's Zach Voorhees, who, by the way, also I noticed in the last few months started supporting a total psychopath who has been obsessed with attacking me, malicious slander and lies for several years. He's promoting that person now too. Really makes me think, are they connected? Considering another QAnon Jewish Torah girl on Twitter was also promoting this character. This guy who is total lunatic, well-known toxic scumbag who lies about everybody and is a piece of shit. Anyway, here we have an ex-Google employee turned whistleblower and QAnon fan made Plandemic go viral. That's Zach Voorhees. He first left Google. Oh, here's SGT report. The storm is upon us. This is it, he says. Look at that. 207,000 views with this nonsense. SGT report. Here's Zach Voorhees. He pushes QAnon. There he is on InfoWars. He thought he was going to have a show on InfoWars. In fact, he was on InfoWars with Teddy Spaghetti. What is his real name? Vox Day. Let's look up Vox Day. He was on InfoWars, come on, with Vox Day, another QAnon promoter. Here is Vox Day wearing a shirt of the religious supremacist party, the Zehut party shirt, the Israeli Zehut party shirt. That's what Vox is wearing. Vox Day used to work at WorldNet Daily, another Jerome Corsi Zionist connection. Here's Vox Day hanging out with Mike Cernovich and Milo, two more Zionist propagandists. Zach Voorhees on InfoWars. Mind you, I DM'd Zach Voorhees and told him Alex Jones is a Zionist because I saw he had been tweeting about Zionist. And he says, Jones exposes the Zionist. You're a shill, and blocks me. Told me everything I needed to know about this fraud. Here is Zach Voorhees headed to D.C., folks. I'm organizing a group of Project Veritas whistleblowers and patriots to speak truth. We will not let the DNC and China steal this election with their fraud. Here he is right next to Roger Stone on the January 6th MAGA Freedom Rally. He first went to Project Veritas to break this Google whistleblower thing, and then he goes to PragerU, which is more Zionist propaganda. Here he is, PragerU. Zach Voorhees, Stop Big Tech Censorship. PragerU, the CEO of PragerU, is literally Military Intelligence Unit 8200 of the Israeli Defense Force. And interesting enough, here he is when he worked at Google, at YouTube, doing the interview about a shooting that occurred there.
Zach Voorhees, a senior software engineer at YouTube, who actually witnessed what seems to be part of this shooting incident. Tell me exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's right. So what happened was I was sitting at my desk programming when we all heard the fire alarm come off.
Anyway, that could just be a coincidence, but just wanted to point it out. Now, before I move on to... hold on, I'll just finish this. Here is a right-wing... This is the type of stuff that Q does. right-wing pastor and QAnon conspiracy theorist, says the final score of the college football national championship game contained a prophetic sign that Trump will remain president. This is the type of nonsense these lunatics are pushing.
It was 52-24. But what was amazing, I looked on the screen and they listed Ohio State's score first, and then they listed the score of Alabama Crimson Tide. And then actually when I looked in the morning on, I think, ESPN, they did it the same way. Seems unusual. Usually you put the team with the higher score first and the other score afterwards. But the way that looks and the way it came out, I'll put this up right now. It was a 24. Can you see that okay, Steve?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
24-52. And then right in the middle of that is kind of covert a 45. So it's a 45 with a 2 on either side. And I went, oh, I kind of went that even as I was watching it. There is two terms. 45 was not put in there for one term. He was put in there for 2 terms. It's a confirmation on either side. There's a 2 on either side. What 22 means as well. We don't want to dizzy people with numbers. But the 45 was there. Right.
There's literally 3 numbers there, and he's saying that, and I say 3 because they're 2 repeats. He doesn't want to dizzy you with too many numbers. Just trust him. This is the sign that Trump's going to stay in. Bombshell, right? This is real investigative journalism.
Right in the middle, and so that was another confirmation. The Lord saying, "I'm putting Trump in a second term, and it's not later. It's back to back. It's right now. It's
the Lord." He says, "This is a sign from the Lord."
But the 45 was there right in the middle. And so that was another confirmation. The Lord saying, I'm putting Trump in a second term, and it's not later. It's back to back. It's right now. It's part of the crimson tide that's coming in.
Confirmation from the Lord, he says. We've got headline from Vice. Vice is garbage, but QAnon's garbage too. I think this is probably an accurate headline. Desperate QAnon believers think Trump spoke to them in Morse code. Look, so desperate for any sign that the plan is still in place. They believe he's using Morse code to communicate his secrets to them.